Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. This is the Hummer H1. Yeah, just look at it. It's wider than what most cars are longer. Yeah, the small cars are longer. It's wider than that. Look at the width of this vehicle. Absolutely staggering. This vehicle was actually made for the military, and then certain numbers were also allocated to the general public, and this is one of the cars which looks absolutely mind-bogglingly phenomenally crazy in terms of road presence. Now I am here at Alain Class Motors and they have happily told me that I can go and do a walk around of this vehicle, but first and foremost let me show you the suspension of this vehicle, the tires. It's absolutely staggering, the stance of this car. Okay, you have got two towing hooks up front, and why do the Americans always use a 7-slat grille? I can count there's 7. It seems to have aftermarket lights. Yeah, these lights are what we see on Royal Enfield motorcycles in India. 6.2 liters supercharged. Well, things like these should be written at the rear so that people can see your ass when you overtake them, but this car is so heavy it's not going to overtake anyone. So when people overtake you, they actually see that, what, 6.2 liters of displacement? Absolutely staggering. This is the reason for the oil crisis. This is the reason for the environmental crisis. This is the reason for General Motors to not perform brilliantly well in certain markets, because this car makes absolutely no sense. For the military, of course, it does make a lot of sense, and I absolutely remember the movie Broken Arrow, wherein John Travolta was driving this car. What a movie, what a car in that movie. And this is actually the Jeep Wrangler, but let's not detract from what we are come to do here, which is look at this particular car. Now to open the hood, you have to open this. Yeah, this opens from here. This, I don't know what it is. Wipers are facing the other way, and the hood is so long and massive. I actually cannot open the hood because you have to remove this first, the crash guard. Honestly, this is not a crash guard, this is the death wish. If anybody who's driving the Hummer touches any other car on the road, that car is gone, okay? You don't have to save the Hummer, you have to save others who are around you. That is the madness of this vehicle. Anyways, we'll still try our luck to see if we can open the hood of the vehicle, which means doing it very sweetly. But this thing won't come up unless and until I open this, which is a crazy task indeed. So I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but we look at the wheels at the moment. Why I'm saying not the right thing to do? Because I don't think I'll be able to close it back. 315 7017s, yeah, dual bedlock run flat forged aluminium wheels. The size of the wheels is smaller than the size of the profile of the tire. That is absolutely berserk size of the tire. I mean, look at the thickness. Obviously ride quality would be brilliant, you might imagine. No, it's not, it's shit actually. You know why? Because this has leaf spring and it has all the age old platform. In fact, let's do a deep dive underneath the body to show you. Now everything is obviously well concealed because this car is meant to go to places where it's absolutely imperative for it to be bulletproof and whatnot. At the moment, door is opening, yeah, because I was facing some issues with opening and closing the doors. Doesn't really work, the central locking as such. See the length of the car. It's kind of awkward the way the car has been designed. It's so long. Yeah, it's long, it's wide, but it's not tall. It's kind of short. It comes across as a minion to me, a fat minion. Anyways, at the rear, I mean, those doors actually look like the ones which you see on hearse. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. All you Hummer fans, but anyone who's actually following me now after my Hummer H3 video would not mind, because the Hummer fans would have left and unsubscribed because I've really bajawed the way the car has been engineered. It's been terrible. Anyways, coming to the rear, you have got two towing hooks as well. Full metal, full metal. This is the Royal Enfield of cars. Honestly, this is the Royal Enfield of cars. The variant name seems to be Alpha. Unleaded fuel only, Alpha Hummer, non-vented. Rear suspension, nothing short of another madness happening there. And why does it have two fuel lids? Unleaded fuel only, Mad Max Garage, non-vented. So there are two fuel tanks in this car. I have no freaking idea about Hummers, so I'm a little lame in that sense. I really am clueless about that. Let's quickly look at the front. Now, usually I only go from one side, but this car is so wide now that I have to show you both the sides, okay? So the seats are okay, not that comfortable. There's an armrest here, Hummer written here, just in case you forget that, you're in a massive vehicle, but it's not a truck, it's a Hummer. It's actually a truck, but not a full-size truck as such. It's actually a full-size truck. There's a cup holder here. There are plenty of switches. Half the switches I don't understand. I think these are for the power window controls. This is to lock and unlock the doors. Okay, unlock. No, not working right now. This is for seat cooling and ventilation, and this is the cigarette lighter. Now below here, what is it? Okay, this is locked. This is a locked compartment, and there is a cup holder there as well. Look at the size of the cabin. It is so wide, it is so wide, it is so wide that I just cannot show you the other side from here, which is kind of unfortunate. Let's open the door. This might not open. Yeah, you have to manually unlock because I think central locking is not working. But even when I open like this, does it open? Please tell me it opens. Yeah, it does. It seems like no one's opened the doors since a long time. Now this is a 4-seater, just like Rolls-Royce cars. Decent amount of legroom on offer, but honestly nobody cares about legroom. People care more about whether they can keep a gun or grenades when they go for war in a Hummer H1. Look at the size. Look, oh my god, this interior is absolutely crazy in terms of size. It's so wide, it's so wide, it's so wide that you need 2 people to drive the car. You don't need a person to sit on the right side because it's a left-hand drive to just accompany you. You need a person to navigate you who sits on the right to tell you, acha haan, nikal jayegi gaadi, ghabarao mat, ho jayega, U-turn ho jayega, no problem. So that's why we need people to sit at the rear. When you're reversing, they come out from there and be like, okay, fine, I am telling you, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. You don't need a reverse parking sensor or a reverse camera. You need people, you need additional manpower to drive this car. That's how things work here. We have the power window controls here. So non-existent door pockets, finished in metal, very premium. And of course, the traditional feel, everything is exposed here to tell you that, you know what, a lot of man hours have gone inside here. Now, there is an AC vent here. This is actually for the power window controls. And there are so many controls here. Half of them, तो honestly, मुझे समझ ही नहीं आता है भी क्या. So camera is getting a little weirdy right now, but I think these are the controls for the audio system, and this happens to be an ashtray. So what is this? There's a mic, there's a speaker. Okay, someone's doing podcasts inside this car. Meanwhile, there's storage space here. There's so much space in this car. This is like a moving house, absolute moving house. But because Hummer was really poorly engineered in terms of mechanicals, the car really did not survive much, and they're planning to bring it back with 15,000 Newton meters of torque. Here's a tip: increasing the output of your electric motor is not going to help. Okay, rather decrease the weight of your car, decrease the size of your car, and do better packaging, because in spite of the massive length, there's not much space on the inside of this Hummer H1. The doors are so small, it reminds me of the Ford GT40, the original one. Okay, getting in and out is a little difficult, but you know, you can adjust the seats in a multitude of ways. You can move it up, down, behind, front, back, everything can be done. You know, so many levers for moving the seat. And what is that? Okay, that is obviously the brake pedal, which is massive. Accelerator pedal is hidden somewhere there, and this is the, I think this is the hood lock. I thought that would be the handbrake. Anyways, lot of controls here. Half the buttons I honestly don't know, and I think of myself being very smart and knowledgeable, but I'm clueless of half the things. This is the lever for the cruise control, and this is for like the battery temperature, the engine temperature, the battery voltage, I believe. Speedometer is so small that it completely makes no sense. Why did they give such a speedometer in a car which is so big? Rather, don't give a speedometer only. यार आपने बहुत बड़ा उपकार किया हमें speedometer देके, नहीं चाहिए हमें speedometer. The tachometer reads till 3,500 RPM. Engine barely revs actually, and then we've got more temperature meters. There's a fuel meter, which ironically is at half. I think this car would guzzle fuel while standing still and drain the fuel tank. But then we have got 2 fuel tanks for a reason. That seems to be a compass. No, that's a tire pressure monitoring system. Why do we have an analog tire pressure monitoring system? No idea. You can inflate the tires of the vehicle. Yeah, self-inflating tires and what not stuff in this car. You can select tire and OMG, like this is absolutely cool. But I think this doesn't work. I'll show it to you in the end of the video, so hang on there. Now there's a 12-volt charging socket here, and there's a screen which kind of looks aftermarket, air conditioning controls, and a slew of buttons here. Now obviously this is the gear lever, gear selector. Probably it has a 4-speed gearbox, high, low, H, N, L, whatever. Oh my god, this is crazy. This is what? This is the handbrake? Or what is this? Is the handbrake? What is happening? Okay, I think this is to drift. This is to park. This is crazy. Okay, now it says T-Max maximum road recovery. Now that is for the intelligent dual battery system. I'm honestly reading. I'm clueless about half the things here. Now you've got so many controls here: lock, unlock the door, power window switches. I think these are all for the power window switches, and this is to do child lock. Which child sits in a Hummer that we need child lock? And this is for the locking diff, front lock, rear lock diff, and heating and cooling function of the driver's seat. Meanwhile, the view from here is crazy because you know the side on the driver itself is bigger than the size of the complete windshield on most of the cars, and we've got a big partition because they could not make a glass as big. We've got speakers on the top, and yeah, this is to protect you from the sun. And they're not one, there are 2. No, there are 2 of them. Yeah, there are actually 2 of them. Even in a Hummer, you don't need all this speakers. Everything seems so jugadu here. Now there's a light placement. There's a light placement on the top. Headroom isn't that great. Legroom is okay, bearable, not that great either. Under thigh support is lacking. So not the most spacious car in that sense. But you see, The interior actually is very rugged and functional in that sense. There's a button here which I have no clue. There are multitude of buttons here as well. Now those are the controls for the wipers. Yeah, there are no levers are not present here. This is to actually adjust the steering wheel height. That's also very weird. Everything is so weird in this car, and it's so difficult to understand how the people gave up on the car when realizing that they can't adjust half the things. It's that complex. I think this is for siren, and oh my god, don't just open anything, because whenever you open anything, this is for the light, siren, horn change, crazy stuff happening inside this car. Faisal Khan is absolutely clueless. But here, you know what most Indians would do? They would remove that center podcast table, and they would put additional seats, and there you go. You got a practical MPV. Only thing is, it occupies the space of 5 cars on the road. Not at all practical. This thing is also, very weird the way it opens. So like I was telling you, firstly you climb inside, and then there's this, sort of a uptick here. So yeah, it's kind of weird. How do you sit inside the car? There's not much space on offer. Meanwhile, everywhere you go, there are like tons of buttons. You don't understand half of it. That is not really a dashboard. That is a control unit of the Hummer H1. Absolutely crazy. So this vlog is getting long for no reason. I'm not even giving you guys information. I'm just talking random shit. So we're going to quickly get into the boot. Not the boot, I mean tailgate. Open the tailgate. Here is, okay, this thing will not open like this. Come on. I actually had to jump from inside and try to open it. Where is the switch to open it? There is no switch to open it, Faisal. You have to try your luck. No, that's not opening for the moment. I pressed this. It opened from the inside. I think there is a... What is here? Spare wheel? No. Is it the space occupying the wheel arch? Absolutely no idea. It says do not crush, because a person inside a Hummer definitely decides to crush whatever he sees randomly. Boot space is good enough. Actually, you can keep a lot of stuff if you so please to move around stuff in a very expensive way, because this car drinks all the fuel available on earth. 6.2 litre supercharged Hummer, and this is kind of aftermarket pasted tail light as well. So that is also a little bit awkward. So guys, this is a small walk around of the Hummer H1, a car which makes no sense whatsoever. And talking about no sense, half the buttons inside this car don't make any sense to me whatsoever. But that said, it's super wide. It's so wide that it's going to occupy parking of 5 cars, and that honestly makes this car redundant in a day and age where even popular cars like the Audi Q7 had to reduce their size from 1st gen to 2nd gen. Video देखना है इसका, H3 का वीडियो क्या कहीं तो डाला है मैंने, डाल दूंगा. See the video of the Hummer H3 and realize how pointless that car was. So imagine the H2 and H1 are even more pointless. And on that bombshell, it's time to end this video. Meanwhile, we've got an antenna. I don't know why do you need an antenna. There's no system inside. Be nice and courteous and close this. Yeah, people wanted to see the engine. We will drive the car one fine day, and when I do, that time I'm going to open the engine, show you that as well. So don't worry about that. Trust me on this. What do you guys feel about the Hummer? The mirror itself weighs more than a Maruti Espresso. That's the weight of the mirror. That's so big itself, and that's what she said is this concave thing which does nothing to help while driving the car, because it doesn't help in your judgment at all. That is how crazy this vehicle is. Let's shut this thing. Let's be courteous, and it also requires some effort. That's done. Everything is in place. I think it's time to end this video. Should we do a video on the Hummer H2 as well? Actually, I was telling you something I'm going to tell you at the end of the vlog. Well, we'll get to that right away. This is the Hummer H2. So they actually decreased the size. So talking about downsizing, they actually tried to do that as well. But there is the Range Rover right in front of us. And the Hummer is so big that that C-Class actually looks like a Maruti Desire to me right now. There is a Dodge Viper. I believe, yeah, it's a Viper. An Aston, slew of GTRs, but we'll do a dedicated video on those cars as well. The reason why we are walking here is because I was telling you about this Hummer having this system called a tire inflator. You press a button and you can inflate the tires. Well, that is absolutely redundant. You know why? I mean, it doesn't work as such. It has to have a pressure pump and all. I've seen it on Ashok Leyland trucks. Uska vlog bhi maine kiya hua hai. Because if you come here, you realize what's happening. Check this out. Okay, there's another H1 and the tire is almost flat. Okay, I got the keys of this car, but I thought it would be really bad to do a vlog of a tire punctured car. It says ABS, so it's not just Maruti cars which proudly boast of ABS, and it doesn't get alloy wheels. The tire size here is awkward to read actually. 37 into 12.5 into 16. Something weird, something awkward. This one has a 6.5 litre turbo diesel motor, but I don't think it's BS6 compliant. Gagan is really interested in this car because there are a ton of lights inside as well. But tires actually are small on this car, so I'm really thankful that I made the right decision. Rear tire, another tire has been punctured. someone comes here and randomly punctures tires, we need to catch hold of that person right away. Meanwhile, it gets a tailgate mounted spare wheel, which actually improves the aesthetic appeal of this car, just like it does in the Ford EcoSport. But a diesel engine in a Hummer tried to save the environment and the earth, and the oil crisis never worked because the weight was so much, even diesel could not save the car. Anyways, the windows are really small, claustrophobic feeling. I can go on and on. If you like this vlog, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye, take care.